The following game has been rated T for teen by the ESRB for violence, blood, mild language, use of alcohol, and once again, online interactions are not rated by the ESRB. That means anyone under the age of 13 should not be watching this video. You have been warned. Greetings and salutations. I am Outlier, and I bid you welcome to this channel. Joining me today are, of course, my usual co-hosts, Snowball and Wolf. And today, we are going to be playing Monster Hunter World, specifically with the Iceborne expansion. Well, because I thought about it, and it seemed like a very good idea to play this game right now. Like I said, it was a very good idea to play this game. So basically, Monster Hunter is a series about, well, hunting very large monsters. The characters in the game live in a world where humanity is not the apex of all apex predators. There are, I would say, quite large, but I don't want to minimize their size, creatures out there that, when come in contact with humans, have a general tendency to fight the humans, and usually humans don't often win. It's not because of any malice on the monster's part. I mean, they're just large predatory animals, and humans are made out of meat. But in order for civilization to survive, they've had to build and adapt technologies to ward off and combat these monsters. And there is an entire organization of people who make it their livelihood to track down any problematic monsters and, let's just say, neutralize the threat. Yes, that is exactly what I am saying. The game is literal. You hunt monsters because you're paid to. I should point out that I am a fan of this series. This particular game I have played before. I haven't touched it in a while. In fact, this is the first time I've actually started playing it since the Iceborne expansion released. I think it released over a year ago now, and I just haven't gotten around to it. One of the reasons why I don't play this game as often as I used to is partly due to the fact that I play it on the PlayStation, and for the most part, my PlayStation is largely just the stand I set my Xbox and Switch docks on top of. Because I don't have much horizontal space, so vertically is usually the way I stack things. But I digress. So, while I am familiar with most of the mechanics in the game, there are some things that would be new to me. And while it would probably be a good idea to start from the very beginning, A, I don't want to lose my save file, my current save file, and B, I will admit I didn't put much thought into playing this game in terms of prep work. As Snowball has said before, it's mostly due to the fact that it's getting late. I realized I needed to film something to make a video out of tomorrow, and since my PlayStation is currently on and The only other game I play regularly on it is Elite Dangerous, which requires an online connection and is currently downloading its Fleet Carrier update. This is largely the only option I have left. Yes, there is that, but I'm worried the background music may be third party copyrighted, so unless I know for sure, I'm not willing to play the Tetris effect for video making until I'm certain somebody won't come by and say, hey, that's my song, this is now my video. I will sue you into oblivion type deal. Because so far I make no money off of this, or, well, much of anything. And I don't have much for legal fees. So this game is made by... Thank you again. And that being said, let us begin. Okay, so this is the main town that your character operates out of. The main storyline is that the guild, the monster hunting guild, which you're a part of, sent an expedition to this far-flung island where they've detected large, massive creatures known as elder dragons. Every 10 years or so, one of them comes to this land for unknown reasons, so they sent an expedition to figure out why. In addition to hunting problematic monsters, you're also studying them. You know, their habits, what they eat, what they try to avoid, just simply because knowledge is power, and it's easier to deal with a problem when you fully understand it. So this is the character's room. This is actually the upgraded room. The starting room is much smaller than this. There are, in addition to the monsters you hunt, there are also smaller creatures you can poach, collect, out in the wild and keep as friends and pets. This is my favorite one, the shepherd hare. I believe it's called. I call him Slinky. It's him right there. Yes, everybody talks about the little piglet that you can pet and walk around out front, but this is my favorite little guy. Next to, of course, my powerful companion. This is Khan. He helps with the hunts. And by helps, I mean regularly saves me from certain death. So there's that. And much like your character, so Khan feels like he has improved a lot today. I hope that I will bring him along in the next outing too. He goes wherever I go. Okay? So in addition to your equipment, you can also manage the Palico's equipment as well. So we just remove his armor real quick. This is what he looks like without any armor on. So that's him. Just checking to see what has the best defense. This is his various tools. He has access to 3, a Vigor Wasp spray, which is a healing item, a Flash Fly Cage, which is used to temporarily disable monsters, and a Shield Spire, which is a massive shield. I was unaware he had any proficiency in it. The only one that I recall ever using is the Vigor Wasp spray. Like I said, he keeps me alive. the Vigor Wasp Spray is one of his tools in doing so. So he's got a small collection of weapons. One he's currently got equipped is probably the highest level attack, so I'll keep him with that. What news do you have? Alright, a nice tail raider from before taught me the trick to doing meowster calls. Do this: if you call a meowster, we'll let you hop on their back and hit your ride. Here, I'll teach you how. Alright, so this is, I would assume, a new feature with the Iceborne expansion, so this is why a tutorial is coming up now. So I can now ride tail raider monsters with the Palico. Select the raider ride call from the item bar to summon the monster and press L while next to it to get on it. Open the wildlife map and press select the R3 to set your destination, and the tail raider monster will automatically take you there. So you drop a pin on a large monster with R3 and use your tail raider monster arm to start tracking it. So as prepare for the hunt while on the move. While riding a monster, you can still gather materials, use your items and slinger, and open the wildlife map as usual. It's some new actions to keep in mind. Open the wildlife map. Press L3 while running, walk handy for gathering materials. Press L3 while walking, run. X dismounts, and triangle dismounts while performing your draw attack. So you cannot control the monster directly. If you don't set a destination, the monster will follow tracks. And check the controls at the top right of the screen. You can check on the status of a rideable tail raider monster by going to the info tab of the start menu, opening Palico info and pressing the L2 and R2 a number of times until you get the raider ride info. Monsters grow tired if you ride them too much. If the monster is resting, you won't be able to call it during that quest or expedition, so you have to wait for it to recover. Once you call a monster, you can ride it as much as you want for the duration of that quest. Monster is busy, it's temporarily unavailable. Some areas like camps won't allow you to call monsters. Each region has its own unique tail rider monster. Kinda cool. Okay. So I can now use Raider Ride. I can use a Jargus in the Ancient Forest and a Male Kestodon in Wild Spiral Waste. Alright, so these are the various items that I have. All my equipment. Unlike some people that I know play this game who default to one specific weapon choice, while there's nothing wrong with that specifically, I much prefer... messed up all my selections. So I much prefer tailoring the weapons to the specific hunt required. So if I'm hunting a specific monster, I use a specific weapon against that, and depending upon what I'm hunting, that is what I go equipped with. So I generally classify there are 15 different weapons in the game, and I classify them into 3 different groups between ones I use regularly, ones I use rarely, and then ones I try to avoid, like the plague. I would like to point out right now that this is just simply my personal opinion, but weapons like the hammer, the bow, the greatsword, and the iron lance, I use absolutely none at all. I don't use them at all. I generally try to avoid them because I generally don't like how some like the hammer. I don't like the timing of and the short rangeness of it. means that you have to get up close and personal. So I just keep getting the snot kicked out of me whenever I try to use the hammer, so I usually just avoid it. The bow in the past has some aiming and control issues, at least when I was using it, so that's why it's not my real favorite type of weapon. I much prefer the light bow guns for that, but that is 4 weapons. The 5th one I don't like using. I'll say maybe the sword and shield, but I think that's more of a rare type weapon. So I'll use the sword and shield occasionally, but it's not one of my go-to weapons. Same with the hunting horn or the long sword and the charge blade. I mean, they're all useful. I have no problem with them. It's just there are weapons I like better. And the heavy bowgun falls into that category where there are certain types of monsters that I will use it against, but unless I'm hunting that specific monster, I usually don't break it out of the weapons chest. And then there are, of course, the weapons that I use regularly and will generally switch up. So, just simply because it's on page 2, I prefer the light bowguns, just simply because you have greater mobility with them over the heavy bowguns. I want to say they have a longer range than the actual than the bow, just simply because there's not as much vertical drop in terms of the ammunition. At least it travels farther in a straight line before falling down. Also, you only carry a certain number of coatings and ammo for the various weapons, and I've run out of coatings faster with the bow than I have bullets with the bow guns. I also prefer the insect glaive for reconnaissance and scouting missions. Basically, when I have to do like a gather X number of herb or explore this particular region, I generally take the insect glaive because it allows for some extra mobility options you just don't get with other weapons. And then there is the dual blades, which I like using when I have to fight missions that require I kill X number of smaller creatures. So, like X number of, what is it called? Where's the, oh, there, Hunter's Notes. All Monster Field Guide. Yeah, so the Jargus. So if I have to run a mission where I have to kill 15 Jarguses, I take the dual blades for that. That was the map, by the way. So you looked at it. Hey, look, it's Slinky's ears. But if you looked at that, you could tell how far I've got. That's the wrong screen. So I much prefer dual blades for those. Switch axes are one of my favorite weapons. I like weapons that have some form of transformative effect, and one of the main reasons why I like the switch axe. I generally take it when I have a quest where I have to hunt large, fast-moving monsters. So something that jumps around a lot, like your bird wyverns or large monkeys, or the bear. Or, I keep forgetting what the large blue bear is called. I'm not certain if he's in this game or not, but those types of monsters, the medium tier monsters, basically, that are hard to track down or hard to pin in one place. That's generally what I use the switch axe against. And then there's my personally favorite weapon, which I don't think has much popularity in regards to other people, but I personally prefer the gun lance over pretty much anything else. I like the fact that it's got it's a melee weapon. It also has a shotgun effect. I know in prior games there were certain monsters that I couldn't damage with the blade because the sharpness wasn't as high, so I would routinely just simply use the shellings of the gun lance to take them out. I also like the wyvern fire effects, and it has a shield, so you can protect yourself from the largest of all monsters, which is what I usually use it against. So like the Rathian, the Rathalos, the large wyverns, most elder dragons, so long as they don't jump around or have some sort of defensive field that prevents me from getting close, I usually take the gun lance against. And to mention some of the wyverns' names, I'll point out right now, I am horrible pronouncing things. So I'll often pronounce monsters incorrectly and not know that I'm doing that. For instance, the Tigrex, I believe it is called. I've fought it since the PlayStation Portable version. It's probably one of the more large, angry monsters that I've had to fight. I know it is back with the Iceborne expansion. I am not looking forward to meeting it again. But for the most part, I've always called it the Tigrex. And it wasn't until I saw a Nintendo Direct message. Was it Nintendo Direct? Basically, a updated message from the makers of one of the 3DS versions of the games, where they called it the Tigrex. And I just stopped and thought to myself, it's called Tigrex? So yeah, there's that. Alright, well, I'll keep the insect glaive for now. Also, in addition to hunting the monsters, you also gather resources from them, so like their hides, their claws, their scales, every so often their heads, and you use that to fashion bigger and stronger and better weapons. It's basically, I don't want to call it a looter shooter because the stuff generally isn't randomized, and you don't really pick up dropped loot, you basically carve it from their corpse. But it's, I want to say it's somewhat similar vein to that. Where you basically fight a monster X number of times. You get enough of their materials to build better armor and weapons. And oh look, there's the Pookie. That's the little pig. I still prefer the shepherd here. Yes, I know that's controversial. I don't care. What was I going to say? You upgrade weapons and armor, which increases your defensive and offensive capabilities, which in turn allows you to fight bigger and stronger monsters for more materials, and allows you to build bigger and stronger weapons and armor, and allows you to upgrade your existing weapons and armor. That's the main loop of the game for all intents and purposes. It does, at least in my opinion, get boring after a while. That's why while I log hundreds of hours into these Monster Hunter titles, I don't often finish them. I usually get to a point where I'm just hunting the same thing over and over and over again, and I just basically get really tired of it and I stop playing. I just move on to other things until the next Monster Hunter game comes out, where I then pick that up and then log in an extra 100 hours onto that. So there are various facilities that you can utilize in the hub town. Canteen is one of them, and there are also so it allows you to basically it allows you to eat somebody's emotions. No, it allows you to eat meals that increase your various stats. So, for instance, if I choose the Chef's Choice Platter, the meal effects for this one would be, I would get an increased 30 points of health, 25 points of stamina, and Khan, the Palico, would get an extra 12 points of health. You also get various skills which will serve as passive buffs while I go out on the hunt. So there's a chance I could get a small attack and defense increase. Could also possibly get, I think, Feline Acrobat, Provoker, and Researcher, but those are all randomized skills. So you select your meal, this little animation plays. It's different when you start. As I said, I'm part of the way through the game, so it's been upgraded. I like the fact that all the head chef does is put the little white thingies on the chicken. Yes, that's what my character looks like without the helmet. As I said before, with custom creators, it's basically I go with whatever the default is, plus I add in the gear. So now that we've done that, I could go to the quest gal. I think that's actually official. Oh, the handler. Usually it's like some form of quest gal or guild gal or something gal, but basically the handler hands you your quest. So it's in this game you're classified as partners. So wherever you go, she goes. I wish I could take the disguise. Seriously, a flying research base, what's not to like about that? I guess she gave me extra stuff. Some rations, okay, that's cool. So I have various options for the various quests. The next storyline one is this one, where I have to hunt a Palalumo. I don't feel like doing that right now, so. But these are all the quests that I've completed. There's also optional quests where, again, it's basically gathering things, hunt small monsters. In addition to killing monsters, you could also take them alive. I've heard on YouTube some people claim that it's the more humane option. I'm not 100% certain that's actually accurate, given the fact that if you take them alive, they're still taken to what I assume is some sort of rendering plant and still chopped up. Only this time, I'm assuming they're still alive when it happens, so I question the humanity of it all. And there's also extra investigations. I forget exactly what they do. And then events, because it's technically downloading the update. Because again, I have not touched this thing in probably about a year, if not more. So it's still in the process of downloading an update. I'm not even certain I'm actually going to be able to use it. So rather than doing a quest, I'm just going to... Oh, Asteria. That's the name of the town. But as I was saying, instead of just going on a quest, I'm just going to go out and do things. So I could go to the research base, which I'm assuming is a smaller version of this. But let's go to the first area, known as the Ancient Forest. And we're just gonna go around hunting, see what we find. So here we go. Again, here is the handler.
Okay.
Yes, I'm okay here. And again, it allows me to return from the expedition, or again, start a quest. But I don't feel like doing a quest right now, so I'm not going to do that. I still have the glider mantle equipped. That was last time I played, was in the third area. And I know there's some way to change your equipment here. Here we are. So I only have 3 right now. The Ghillie Mantle, which conceals me from monster view temporarily. Effect expires if you perform an attack or take damage. The Glider Mantle, which increases jump air time and grants the power to ride strong winds. It also makes it easier to mount monsters. Probably not going to be an issue down in this area. Or the Health Boost, which places smoke that gradually restores your health. Go with that. Just flipping through what items I have. Yeah, potion, mega potions, antidotes, nullberries, well done steak. A variety of things that I apparently forgot to stow, so let me go back and deal with that. It does make me wonder what exactly I was doing last time that required I have all this stuff with me. Yeah, I'll keep them in the dung pods. Alright, so there's that. One other thing about the insect glaive is the kinsect, which is this little bug thingy on the arm. In addition to the staff that you see here that I can just swing around and attack things with, I can also launch the kinsect and they can do various things. Also, I keep forgetting to mention, each piece of armor has extra buffs and debuffs. So, in addition to their defensive and elemental defensive abilities, each part of the armor has extra effects. So, like for instance, the Andra Greaves have an artillery effect, which I believe increases certain types of bowgun rounds, and like an extra fire attack, uses less stamina, so forth and so on. And I can't remember if it's like if this game is like the others, but in the others, you would need to have a certain number of points in each special trait category. Basically, have multiple pieces of armor that has the same effect, and it would allow you to gain that ability. So, like for instance, if I had one that had an attack up buff, and it required 5 points in that, and each piece of armor gave 1 point, I would need to have 5 pieces of armor to equip that sub skill or trait or whatever I decided to call it. I don't remember. So these are aptonoths, I believe they're called. They're basic herbivores. They use as pack animals. I generally call them meats because, well, that's what they're used for. So basically you hunt them. The rest go fleeing. And because I died, I let our carcass to rot. Don't like that. Makes me feel bad. I don't like killing things for no reason. Unless, I absolutely have to. And yes, I'm just poaching the local wildlife. Voltaires are hard to catch, so memory serves. That just increases vitality. And you can also pick up extra things. What are you? Too far away. Oh well. But basically, you get the meat, and you can use them barbecue spit to, well, make the raw meat into well done meat. And if you're not paying attention, like what I did, your timing's off, you get, well, burnt meat, which isn't really of much use. Get it done, and you can get well done steak, which is actually maxed out, so I probably should not be cooking the meat. And if your timing is off, as in it's too short, you get rare steaks instead. What are you up there? Why do you look like a Rathian? Alright, so the Andronoth is off in this area. Not the Andronoth I wanted to know. I wanted to see what they are. It's also this game auto crafts things, so I pick up latchberries and it just magically becomes pierce ammo. I'm of mixed feelings about that. That's just more local wildlife. That's part of the stone. I could have sworn that those were scratches. Alright, I know it was over here. Yeah, there it is. Don't think it's a Rathian. I think it's the male, the Rathalos. Okay, I can now eat again. Good to know. Fact. Better to max out stamina right now. There we go. So, to get the Raider Ride, which is something I've never done before, this. Alright, so let's go over the controls for a bit. Why is Khan not on this thing? Alright, so go to the map, and I set the destination. Oh, goody. No, let's go over here. What do I do this again? That is a Rathian. Oh, so it didn't set a destination. Are they both here? Oh, that's the Wrath. That's the Rathalos, so they are currently both on the map. What are you? Paratoad. So the Rathian and the Rathalos are some of the things that I will not fight without a gun lance. So, one item bar. Detour the animal wants to walk instead of run. So off we go. Now through to walk. Check out nearby points of interest. Then we just walk again. We'll run again. And the Andronoth is currently here. Bats. I don't think I have a bat. Just various old things. Arrived at our destination. Okay, now what? There's the Rathian. So they're both here. There's also the Andronoth. Let's go back where it's quiet. This will only take me to specific things. Supposed to just say, oh, that's down. Stop. I'm good. Move me out so please. Okay, that's the Andronoth. Hopefully it did not see me. Although it looks like the ride just simply up and lost. Can't blame it. That thing was scary looking. And I was hoping to hunt a Gritter Jargus. I mean, I figured the Andronoth would be here. That's why I packed the armor that I did. I was not expecting the king and queen of all wyverns. But this is an expedition, and if I wanted to hunt something specific, I should have taken a job to do so. Hey, look, a bug. Whee! We'll say this, I always enjoy the view in these games. Mining outcrop. Oh, there it is. In addition to monster bits, there's also various things like ore that you can pick up and allows you to, again, build bigger and better items.
I just love me some good fishing.
Yeah, so if I'm ready to test my skill, I want to know if I can catch a pink parrot in the forest. Periuxus. See me do it. I'm at the fishing spot, so I have talent. I've never seen that kind of fish. It's tempting, but there are the things I was planning on doing. Carcass? Where? Some water moss. It's just more vitality. More stones. Hit the camp again. down over this one. So, bigger monsters means bigger weapons, so I'm heading back to re-equip. Because somehow the large monsters never notice these campsites. Alright, so it's always been my understanding that the monsters that you hunt always have the similar type of elemental weaknesses to what armor is made out of them. So since I have the Anjanath armor currently equipped, you can easily see that it is heavily resistant to fire, but rather weak to water and slightly weak to thunder and ice attacks. So I should equip a weapon that has a water ability if I have one. So like the pulsar here has an thunder element to it. I have 2 pulsar gun lances. Yes. Really need to sort everything out. But because I know it's weak to water, or weak-ish to water, that's the gun lance I'm going to take. Rathalos will leave this location soon. I am fine with that.
You can use the slinger with your weapon drawn. Look for the perfect moment, then fire.
I did not know you could use it with the weapon equipped. So it's... Try the clutch claw. What was the other one? R2 to fire the slinger. Okay. So regular attack, regular attack, regular attack. Shelling. Defense. That just reloads. Defenses. And plus melee attack is upwards attack. That's a complete bounty. Alright, so where am I tracking? So that's the Rathalos again. I'm not seeing... There's the Andronoth. Let us track him. It's called the Mount. Should not have done that directly underneath. Sorry, Con. Poke it in its butt. You okay, buddy? Where are those footprints? I know it's the footprints. I just saw it step there.
Land your claw on a monster to grapple to.
Alright, that did not work as planned. Always face the monster and stabbing it. Want to leave soon. But we just started having fun.
Stop! Hit it with your claw! You can move around while grappling to a monster. Burn through your stamina. You got some slinger ammo.
So it's not like
Spot you
true
hit, but
mounted.
softened up. Watch out when it mounts and raised.
And now it's in.
Claw until things calm down.
Probably should not be underneath. Also, probably should not be selecting items while underneath of it. Distracted. I run away like a hero. I'm sure that's it. Abilities. And we get back at it. Snack a couple times. Sharpness has gotten lower. Less damage. I recall this thing having more ammo. It could be confusing with the different gun lines. So now that I decided to wander off, we should take this time to sharpen. Should also take this time to restore the health that I lost. And then we go after it. He thinks the cat's more of a threat than me. I do not have a problem with that. Khan is ridiculously terrifying. Most Palicos are, especially the ones that throw the bombs. They do not recognize friendly fire. And keeping Khan with a fire weapon probably is not a good idea. But live and learn. Stab in your neck a couple more times. Get knocked around. Attack, stab it in the leg. Fight, stab it in the throat again. Again. Loads the jump. Used to be it would be attack, 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 shell. He's actually tired. Assuming that's what's left. Of course, that stops mid-fight. Distracted. Away. Heal. Resharpen again. This is generally how these fights go. Oh, you're something new. Not what I'm hunting, though. Did he leave? I get the feeling he actually left. Where is he? Is he Rathian? First camp. Pookie Pookie. He was practically right on my tail. I mean, cool. He just decided to up and leave. Alright. If anybody asks, I won that fight. Yes, that's probably more likely. What do I want? Guess we could try hunting the Pookie Pookie. Oh, it's poisonous. Doesn't tell me what it's weak to. Hello.
The monster blended into a wall will leave wide open to attack.
And now I'm poisoned. That's why I packed it. Come on. Vigor Wasp to heal.
See how it went flying? Slam it into a wall to really create an opening.
I'm getting around the same numbers as the androgens. I'm assuming water-based weaponry at least is not resistant to water damage. And now I'm stunned. Not helpful. Now where did you go? That's the Wrath. Find it. Just borrow this Vigor Wasp. Mucus from the Andronoth. She's still around? Is that our new one? Pookie material. Grabbed its scale. No footprints. Are the glowflies tracking the Andronoth or the Pookie? Guessing the Pookie. Tracking the monster, it seems to have left the area. Right there. I do not like fighting two things at once. because I sometimes get in the middle. They're free to attack each other, though. Apparently I picked up a new tail rider. Alright, so the Pookie's leaving and I feel like tracking it, so we're going to go do that. So I'm going to run through this thing real quick. Stamina recharge. Apparently the engine off the caught in a vine trap. Let's ignore it for now. Sharpen. You a friend? Don't know. Find me the Poogie. Where? I trapped off its tail. Chop that and carve that up real quick. Shell. And we jump down after it. Good luck that there's no fall damage. Where are you? There you are. And I'm poisoned again. Got smacked in the face. Con and heal. I accidentally hit Con, I'm sorry. Set up a Wyvern's Fire. Not an ideal location, but it works. Oh, Jarvis is dead. Sorry. And he's angry. That was good reason. Oh, he's also injured. Keep going. So you can't jump down from there. Oh look, a god bug. Whee! Grab some honey while I go. Made some mega potions out of the potions that I had. Excuse me real quick. Where is he? Captainoth again. Seriously, where the heck did he go? Can we track him now? Hello. It's always fun. Jargus is actually helping progress. Surprise. Would have guessed that it's basically a ride and once. Oh look, it's dead. As I was saying, once I get to where it needs to go, we'll just simply up and leave. Alright. Bone pile. Feathers. What was I doing? So I guess that's not the targets that I ride around on. Alright, so... we were hunting an Anjanath, before. I'm guessing it decided to leave. The one that I was fighting decided to leave. Let's sharpen while on the way. It's actually kind of cool, I like this. Stamina dropped a little, so let's eat some meat as well. We're not tracking it anymore. We go after it. So, I do like riding around on the monster. It's kind of neat. I'm gonna have to get you to figure out the controls and, you know, basically, yeah, learn them better. It's a greater Jargus. That was the thing I was hoping to hunt today. Oh well. There we are. You can go hide now. Hello. Discover the greater Jargus. Goody. Not what I'm hunting right now. And I've boarded. Alright, probably should hang on right now. And then we stab. Hold on, and then we stab. Hold on for dear life. Stab some more. Hold on again. Stab some more. Lather, rinse, repeat. Shove the big blade into its back and then cut loose. And because it's lying on the ground, we open up the wyvern's fire. Gets back up. That just increases the distance faster. Climb out of the pond. And you try to stab it in its throat. And it's all angry now. And the meter spooked. I'm surprised they haven't run yet. And this is why I prefer to hunt these things with a shield. And by that I mean something equipped with a shield. I don't think that hit him. That hit me though. Nice, you know, for the character not to drown while standing in a wasty pond. I should say getting knocked around in a wasty pond. Use a regular potion. We'll let him have his sissy fit over there. Well out of range. Close, we stab him like that. Like the guy, the fisherman guy was just like sitting there the entire time. Yes, I still see you. You're clearly over there. Do not think for a minute I am not following you. I knocked down a tree. What a fun bit of this game. With all the advancements, they included terrain destruction that the monsters can do, and to a certain extent even you can do. Every new Monster Hunter game, they include something new. Maybe a new weapon or a new mechanic. The whole open world bit for this one is what they included. Well, no, Wyvern's Fire is not very good. Just stab it in the in-between leg bits. Shouts. Stab it in the neck again. We're down to orange sharpness. That was a miss. Reload. Come on. That was a misstep. Get a word in edgewise. See, now I'm bouncing off. That hit. Well, I'm not far enough away. I could probably heal. By far enough away, I mean on the other side of a rock. But I'll take what I can get. We sharpen. Khan can handle it. Khan's got skills like that. You may dislike Metalinks out in the wild because they have a tendency to steal pretty much everything in my pockets. But Khan is one of the best. Hello again. Got me some more. Okay, that timing is bad. Oh, antidote. Okay. We make some of the antidotes that I used against the Pookie. And we missed. Oh, that hit. Something just fell out of its butt. And now it's limpid. Can't grab on because it's moving. Or I could just do that. Wrong button. Probably reload. And sharpen for that matter. Some herbs because I'm running low on potions. And up we go. Grab some blue mushrooms. Oh look, a moss one. Where are you? Seriously, where is he? Do I climb this? Guess I don't. Where is up? Unless I go around. Yeah, go around. Okay, that was a miss. Really trying to avoid me. Oh, look, honey. Now where is he? Is he over here? I don't see him. I'm not gonna ask if I was able to crawl with the gun lance on its back. Its back is back. Anyway, let's grab the mushrooms. Andronoth will leave soon. Well, then I guess I need to kill it. That was actually pretty cool looking. Come on. There we go. Yes, we know you're angry. Shouty, shouty. We know. Disturbed your sleep. I'd be angry too if somebody woke me up by stabbing me in the tail. But I don't have a tail, so I don't have to worry about that. Although I would like to have a tail. It'd be kind of cool. Of course, I am particular with the type of tail I would want. I want one that's fully articulating, like a monkey's tail. Like hold a mug in it. Basically be like a third hand. You dead yet? No, you're not. Are you dead now? No, you're not. That's not for me that nice. Really should reload. Stab. Come on. Now, you're dead. As it falls off. And now we carve it up for its hide. Get a fang. Get a plate. Those are hard to find. And I get a pelt, which, as far as I'm concerned, is its hide. Oh, look, some ivy. Right, reload. Wrong thing. Hang on. I forgot what button I needed to press. Let's heal up. Probably don't actually need to do that. Alright, so now that that's taken care of, is the Greater Jargus still around? Yes, he is. Okay. Call the bus, hop on. So now, the Jargus is what I like to call a faster monster. So, as I was explaining, bring up the map. Thank you. Shoot over here. And I'm running past a whole bunch of herbs. I should not be running past. Because I am running low on potions. Okay. Now, how do I... Yeah, I'm not going to fight the moss one. Where is the camp here? I guess I could technically just fast travel to it. Not as fun, but It gets me where I needed to go. We're going to change the equipment from the gun lance. We're going to switch to the switch axe. Now I think that Jargus actually has a... The greater Jargus is leaving soon. Jargus. Yeah, it's actually strong against water. This probably has a water ability. What I'm going to do is I'm going to change my armor to the Jargus armor. Just simply because if I fight it you wearing with basically armor made from it, it's pretty much guaranteed to be resistant to its own abilities. At least I'm hoping it's pretty much guaranteed to be resistant to its own abilities. Can I call the Raider again? There you are. Off we go. Hopefully we can track it down and fight it before it leaves. And there we are. And because I left from back of one monster to another, we start mounted. So this giant frog lizard thing is... As I was saying, this giant frog lizard thing is the Greater Jargus. Now every Monster Hunter game has... Darn it. Okay. As I was saying, every type of Monster Hunter game has one small and... Oh good, it's found a new friend. Ignoring the fact that we're basically fighting the new friend's boss. And he's actually dead. As is everybody around us. Okay. So as I've been trying to say for the past couple seconds, every Monster Hunter game has a small and medium, small, I guess you could call it medium, small and large monster combination, where one of the first predatory monsters you come across usually has a larger cousin or pack leader that you run into. Usually one of the first, well, challenging monsters you come across. The first couple of monsters that I picked, first couple of Monster Hunter games that I've played, it's always been like it's basically it's called a Velociprey, which was the smaller creature, and then the Velocidrome was the larger one. And with Monster Hunter Freedom Unite, it had multiple variants of that. So, like there was a Frost one, known as the Gaia Prey and Gaia Drome. The standard version, which was, as I said, Velocidrome and Velociprey. I actually got that reverse. A desert one that could paralyze you, known as the Genprey and Gendrome, and then a poisonous one called the Iadrome, Iaprey, and Iadrome. And then in Monster Hunter 3, I believe it was, they went with the Jaggy And then it had a female variant known as the Jaga, I believe. And then the larger monster was called the Greater Jaggy. I want to say they used it for Monster Hunter 4, but I don't actually remember. I know the Greater Jaggy was in 4. They may have had a different one, but its name currently escapes me. And then for Monster Hunter Worlds, they had... That's a big fish out there. I digress. Monster Hunter Worlds, they had the Jargus and the Greater Jargus. So. Actually, something I can play. Just until you die. Look, that Khan fights from a small little raft. No. There we go. Can't carve with the weapon deployed. I only get one carving off of those. Where's this herb that I'm seeing? Way up here. Oh, there we are. 2 free potions. Alright, so even though I've already used it to kill something, I should probably explain what the Switch Axe does. So the Switch Axe has 2 forms. The Axe mode, which is the basic default version. You see right here. And you basically run around at normal speed swinging it, and you just don't like that it auto sheaths the weapon when not in use. You swing it around. Then it also has a sword mode, which is slower, but I want to say does more damage, and has access to the Switch Axe's what's known as file abilities. So every Switch Axe, well, lots of weapons, as I probably said, and if not, well, then lots of weapons have elemental abilities. The Switch Axe takes it slightly further with its file attacks. When in sword mode, you can use file ability. Every Switch Axe has a file ability. With this particular one, it's an exhaust file. I've seen somewhere it's fire, others other elemental abilities, but in sword mode, the attacks become that type of element. So when in sword mode and attacking things, I will cause exhaustion damage, which helps tire the monster out. If you look in the upper left-hand corner of the screen, underneath the sharpness meter, you'll see this little gauge slowly decreasing as I'm using it in sword mode. That's the file, and when it gets to a low enough amount, you can't use the sword mode anymore. Now, it does, I believe, regenerate on its own, although if it gets low enough and you try to deploy the sword, it just refills the file. So let's head back to camp. So the tail raider left us, which is perfectly fine. He should be free to go wherever he wants. Thanks for his help. And I didn't bother to read any of that, so yeah. So let's head back. I think killing 3 monsters is, well, probably more than enough. Don't want to massacre the entire ecosystem. That would be unhappy. So at the end of every mission you get extra rewards. So the special rewards that I get are a Pookie sack for breaking his head, a scale for hunting him, another scale for hunting him, some bones, an Aginoth scale for breaking its hind legs, a monster bone, and a nose bone for hunting the Aginoth, as well as some more bones. And for breaking the Greater Jargus' stomach, I get some of its hide. And for hunting it, I also get more of its hide and its mane. And just because Khan was out gathering as I was, I also get some needleberries, some ore, more latchberries, a toadstool, and some monster bone smalls. Okay, because I wasn't actually doing a mission, I don't actually get a reward, although I do generate research points, which I believe is a secondary currency that allows me to buy some extra things. And then, of course, con goes up because unlike the hunter, the palicos have a level. His gadget proficiency of the shield increased, and he gained a new ability with the Shield Spire Taunt, and the Trail Raider unity increased. So his health is increased. So goody. Alright, and as you unlock or get further in the game, you unlock some things that happen during the downtime. So there's this research center with the analytics director. Apparently I met his sister. Apparently he's also afraid of his sister. So I completed some bounties, gathered plants 5 times, 9 mining outcrops. And these are my other investigations. 3 quests, 3 investigations, hunt 2 large brute wyverns, I only did 1, complete 3 quests in the ancient forest. So let's just gather some honey. And I just do that just to fill it. Is an NPC with something to say, traversing to the New World, which is where we're at. Without you, hunters would be like trying to traverse a great sea without a ship. Foolish notion, you'll agree. Why we would never have reconnected with the research base without you. Can you imagine how much research we might have lost? Quite a bit, I'm assuming. Alright, so the botanist, most plants have to sleep at night, just like us. Of course, others burn the midnight oil like you. So how can he help? Alright, so I'm currently having him grow some dragon strike nuts. I forget why. I think he's just continuing that, so I'm fine letting it be. Okay, so this ladder takes me all the way up to the cantina. I can go down here, and this is the current house. The one I went to at the beginning of this was the starter room, and I guess it just warped me back over here. And here's Slinky again. Hello, Slinky. I do have other pets running around. Give Slinky some food. Bird comes over. Said I do have some other pets just wandering around in the room. I never gave any of the others names, just Slinky, but you know, it's on my to-do list. And because I'm sure someone somewhere will say, play with the Poogie, we'll play with the Poogie. So it looks like the Poogie's picked up the center of some treasure. Pick up your Poogie and try putting him down in various places to see what happens. If it likes you enough, it might find something good. Poogie's just left to be petted. Try petting your Poogie in time with the music to get it to like you. Do well enough, and your Poogie's affection will go up, changing its attitude to you. Let us pet it. Okay, that didn't work. And now it's angry. This is why I like Slinky more. He's not as demanding. They don't have to buy his love. I just had to kidnap him from the wildlife. So, on that note, I shall call it here. Everybody stay safe from the plague, and, have a good day.